Hi guys, Lone Vic here, and welcome to this new series of videos. This is the third one on my channel, from the unboxing and how to plays to honest talk right now, in which I will be explaining why I like or don't like some of the things about the games that I'm showing on my channel. And as the first game to discuss and to tell you about, I've chosen Vampire the Masquerade Heritage, the box behind me, and this is the Kickstarter edition in this white sleeve. I've chosen this because the video of how to play that I uploaded to my channel 2 weeks ago, maybe, or not even 2 weeks ago, got the most attention from you guys, got the most views, so I decided to start with this game. I hope that the opinion that I show you here, that I give you here, will help you maybe either, I don't know, decide whether to buy the game or not. I hope that you'll be willing to share your own opinions and your own thoughts in the comments below in the video, right there somewhere. And in the description for the video you'll find links to other social channels like Facebook and Instagram of mine, or you'll also be able to, click the subscribe button or maybe even like the video or something. So, okay, let's not dwindle any longer. Let's get to the meat of it all. I hope I will be able to do it in like 10 minutes flat, so as not to take too much of your time. Here we go. So, Vampire the Masquerade Heritage is a game for 2 to 4 players. It can be played as a chronicle, as a campaign, or it can be played as a single session game, whether it's vanilla, like straight out of the box, or maybe after the campaign. You can also purchase something like this, which is a reset pack, which enables you to play the campaign a second time, because it's a legacy game. You place stickers on the cards, so if you want to reset it, you need a new set of cards, and those are in the reset pack. You also need the new stickers for this. And the game plays over a course of a few rounds, 8 to 10 depending on the player count, and the campaign plays over 21 game sessions. Each session is a different chapter. The chapters divide into eras. During a single game you create a family tree of vampires. You've seen it in the how to play video, and you can play scheme cards and backstab other players generally, so that's great if you like some interaction, negative interaction at the table. So, let's start with the first thing. The game looks great. I love the artwork. I love especially the Kickstarter components, the metal coins, the crystals, the boards and the graphics, everything. It's like a really vampire mood. The setting is great. I have no problems with that. I have no qualms here, with one maybe tiny exception, that some of the faces of those vampires on the cards look a bit like photoshopped, look a bit unnatural, but that might only be my personal aesthetics. I don't know. You tell me if you have the same feel about that. When it comes to the player count, the game plays the best with 4 players, definitely. With 3 or 2 players especially, some of the abilities of the clans, some of the clan skills, like for example the Nosferatu Black Market or La Sombra's Kissing the Ring, feel a bit underwhelming, because you can't really collect a lot of victory points or a lot of boons for those abilities. So it doesn't scale too well with player count. Some of those clans, for example, Bruja feels more powerful than some of those clans in smaller player counts. But it's also mentioned the rules which clans play the best with what number of players, so you have to be aware of that. And some of those abilities of the clans, especially for example Tsimish's monstrosity clan skill, I feel it doesn't really play well if you're playing a single session game, and that's it. It's only for campaigns, and I'll tell you why later on. But apart from that, is great. The table presence is another thing that I liked about this game. The boards are pretty tiny, but they don't feel cramped, so everything has their space and everything, but they don't take too much space in general. The only thing that I had a problem with were the family trees that you are building, because your clan leader can have 3 children, recruited vampires, and those children have 3 children, and so forth and so on. And with a 2-player game you will add 10 cards into your family tree, and it can get a little unwieldy and a bit unreadable, who is whose sire and who's whose child. And I have this OCD that I like those cards laid out nice and flat and even, and here I had a bit of a problem with that, and it can take up a lot of space, those trees sometimes, but that's a very tiny drawback in my opinion. So the table presence in general, great. The next thing is the battlegrounds, where you play, where you struggle for points the most, and those battlegrounds are, well, this is a great idea. They during the campaign they change from era to era, so there is some twist every few sessions, every few plays, and this is great. The battlegrounds with the anks, where you use the anks, which are based on like area control, more like the Anarch Revolt, Masquerade, or War of the Princes, are my favorite ones because they feel really tight. Every decision, every move is very important, or can feel very important, and you're scheming and planning all the time. Is like, if I move this one here, they don't have a card with this color of the ability, then they won't be able to block me here, and I'll be able to move here, and then I'm done. It's great. The other battlegrounds, where you kind of do this kind of rope pulling from one side to the other, like for example the clans of clans high and low, are also pretty cool. A bit less intense than the previous ones, but also really interesting. I didn't really like the ones like the Beast Within, where you just go around the track, and if you gain positive or negative victory points for the end of the game, and if you fall back in the track, you can draw additional scheme cards to your hand or something. They felt a bit anticlimactic, let's say, in comparison to the two previous types, but yeah, as a trio they work great. And you can also, for a single game, you can mix and match those battlegrounds too, so it's pretty interesting. But you can't really mix and match any of them as you wish, because you should always have one battleground per ability of a vampire, per attribute of a vampire. There are 3 attributes, so you have to have one attribute per battleground for the game to make sense, right? So yeah, now. The schemes and the clan abilities, like I said previously in the video, some abilities feel a bit underwhelming with lower player counts, or if you're playing a single session game instead of a campaign, and then the scheme cards may not work as well as you expected with those. But other than that, the way you pay for the scheme cards with the affiliations of the vampires, and how you can trade your boon tokens and give victory points to other players to use the affiliations of their vampires if you're lacking some, that's great. I love the idea, and it's really cool. I'm just wondering whether you can really play a single session game with more than 7 of those starting scheme cards for each clan, because during the course of the campaign you add scheme cards to the clans, and you can have more. But during a single session game, I don't know if this won't introduce a lot of imbalance to the game, but well, I will definitely try sooner or later, but I don't know if this is not very limiting with those 7. And the meat of the game, the heart of the game, the chronicle, the campaign, the legacy aspect is great. I love it the most, to be honest. What I like about it is the unpredictability and the element of surprise, because those cards which you have in the sleeves that come in the box, you can only see the front side of those cards, and when you decide to elevate a vampire during a campaign, you have to flip the card, and on the other side there is an ability, but you have no idea what the ability is before you flip those cards, and you shouldn't peek really, so you decide kind of randomly which vampire from your clan to elevate, and then you see, oh my god, this is a cool ability, this is great, and then you can add additional stickers over the course of the campaign to those vampires and make them even more exciting to play with. And this is great. This element of surprise and always having something new is something that I really like about this game. This is cool. What else is that, you get new schemes over the course of the campaign. You can modify those clans that you like, that you play with, and you can get new clan leaders, and you can retain a vampire for a next game so that other players can't get it, and you decide how to distribute the victory points among the traits. It's all great. It gives a lot of dynamic to the campaign and a lot of unpredictability. You can't plan for everything. You have to have contingencies, and it's very dynamic, and it's very interesting and kind of pulls you in. So this is great. What I didn't really like is the fact that you really need a recharge pack if you want to reset the campaign. But, it's 21 chapters, it's 21 sessions, it's pretty long, it's a lot from one game, so I don't know if a lot of people will be recharging this. But you need a regular group for that, and it's best with 4 players, because if somebody falls out and then comes back in, they can add 1 dot on their player sheet in the campaign for every chapter that they've missed, and they can have some information already about which direction the campaign goes in, which traits are more beneficial than others, and something that you over the course of the campaign don't have. It's less predictable, so they can have a bit the upper hand there. And one thing also is, 2 things to be honest, is that you don't have more player sheets in the box than 4. So if you are planning to recharge the campaign, use a pencil or make copies. And also the Chronicle booklet, this one, it's very hard to write on it with anything because the paper is very slippery, and I would be really happy if it was solved differently, and that's basically it. But overall, I love the campaign. This is the thing that I like the most about Vampire the Masquerade Heritage. Okay, so I'm looking at the clock. It's like 10 minutes, so I'll be finishing right now, just not to waste too much time, not to take up too much of your time. To sum up, Vampire the Masquerade Heritage. This is going to be a great game. You're going to like it a lot if you are focused on playing the campaign, on the legacy element, and you have 4 dedicated people at your table that will play regularly, and you'll be able to finish the campaign. It will be dynamic, it will be satisfying, there will be a lot of backstabbing, a lot of to and fro, a lot of scheming, and probably a lot of deals made over and under the table when it comes to that. And after the game, you will get an original, game to play with some vampires elevated, having abilities and stuff like that. So you will have your own original game to play if you don't want to reset it again. And then those Tsimshe abilities for Monstrosity will make sense, and if you play with 4 players, then the other abilities of other clans will also make sense. But if you are only playing with 2 players, if you are buying this game to play it with 2 players and you're focused more on single sessions than the campaign, then you might think otherwise. You might choose something else, because this game really flies, this game really blossoms when you play the campaign. Seriously, this is the best experience, this is the best way to experience Vampire the Masquerade Heritage. Alright, I'm done. I hope that this video helped you a bit in clarifying some of the, nuances of how this game plays and feels and everything like that. Maybe it helped you make an opinion whether to spend the money or not on this game. If you liked the video, if you liked any of my videos, hit the subscribe button, click a like, make a comment. I'm trying to respond to all of them. There are not too many right now, so it's easy, but I'm making it kind of a point to interact. And see you next time with another video. Maybe it will be another honest talk, or maybe an unboxing, or maybe a how to play. I have no plan for that yet. It's going to be a surprise. Stay tuned. This was Lone Vic, that's me, and this was Vampire the Masquerade Heritage, a legacy board game, and my honest subjective opinion on this game. See you soon.